First of all, in terms of knowledge, I found them very much poor. I mean, not like it's not like I expected them to be very high in knowledge, but not like that. Just they do not know about the subject knowledge, about the knowledge from the course. Even they do not have any idea what they are teaching in the class. I mean, they were not prepared for the class even. So I'm talking from Bangladesh perspective. So and at the same time, I came from very rural place, village, then some urban college, urban, semi-urban, or you can say not city, not city like, not full city like. So that kind of atmosphere. So basically, I have seen a lot of that kind of teacher. I really love them. They have a really great personal life. They are simple people. But as a teacher, I'm just evaluating it. So yeah, in terms of subject knowledge, they are really poor. Then in terms of motivation, I think they do not have enough expertise how to in how to motivate the students and how to show them the path, even if they are not capable of making something easier for the students. They can guide them, they can show them. Even I think in most cases they even do not know how to do that also. Then I mean, so lack of training, I will say. Then one very important thing here is some of the teacher I have experienced, they just work for money. They have no passion for the teaching, no love for the students, and they just come here and they just do their job just like routine. And I felt sad for them, like even for us also. I'm like, man, why you are in teaching? I mean, instead of teaching, you can do some other things if you really just only want money. Teaching is just a different thing. Why don't you do it that way? Teaching is a very great profession. You are just working with the best creator. You are just making people, and you are enlightening the people. Why don't you do it that way? So, but they just used to work just for money. Just came to the class and gave some routine lecture. Even not, that was not even lecture. They just opened the book and said, okay, from here to here is your homework. How many of you finished the homework? Start and tell the answer. That's what they did in the class in some of the cases. And sometimes they came in the class with some limited number of math knowledge, and then they came and they did some maths in the class. But if there is some question outside only just outside of this maths, even similar maths, they do not have any idea. So basically, in terms of knowledge, I already said. So just only they are doing the work just as a job. Not there is no passion for the job. There is no love for the job. There is no care for the job. And at the same time they used to give extra pressure to the students. And I remember a lot of memories of this kind that I can recall now. They gave us some assignment, some homework, some special assignment or some extra work, some specific works for some day, for some weeks. And at that time also, I knew it, like this is this is unnecessary thing, this is redundant thing, this is not necessary for the course, or this is not. For example, they are saying make some assignment on this topic, and that topic is already in the course book. So basically what we did is we copied after page and page and page and page, and then we submitted, and teacher gave us marks, or suppose 9 out of 10. So which is like, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why you are giving us assignment which is already in the book? And at the same time, why you are wasting our time? Like, you said us to write something, and we are writing, just copying from the book. Why you are wasting our time? And many teachers in my life, many teachers in my life, just they wasted my time. I can just remember, they just wasted my time. And I really I hate them. Seriously, I hate them. They just wasted just tremendous amount of time from my life. At that time, while they were giving me that work, I knew that I'm not learning anything from here. They are just making us like, do not shout, don't talk, just write. There is book, there is copy, there is just write. And we are like writing. Everybody is just like writing. Nothing else. No learning is happening. This is not handwriting competition. Even when we grew up at that time also, even when we grew up at that time also, there were teachers, there were people who used to give this kind of work to me, and at the same time I really hate another type of people who hated asking question in the class. Like we used to ask some questions. I used to ask very less question in the class because of this habit, because of the teacher. I have seen many teacher, like many teacher do not like questions in the class. Whoever asks them questions, they just hate it. They just hate it. They just don't. If anybody asks questions in the class, they just dislikes him or her. And all of a sudden, the relationship between these two changes. I do not like it. Why it happened? I really do not like it. These are the bad teachers, and they, in my point of view, they do not have any right to go to the class. They do not have any right to go to the class. I do not understand this weird, this peculiar thing. How come these people are teachers? Believe me, these people are destroying everybody's life. These people are destroying the future of all the students, and these are the bad teachers. And sometimes teachers used to give punishment in the class, which was demotivating, demoralizing for many students who left their schools, their college, because of this punishment system. But fortunately, I was comparatively most lesson oriented, education oriented. That's why I was always book oriented. So that's why I used to learn all the lessons regularly. That's why they couldn't beat me, and I didn't have to go through this. But I have seen many of my friends, they couldn't make it. They just left the schools and colleges, and even I have seen people living from every sections of educational sector, because of the bad teacher, because of the bad motivation, because of the bad way of dealing with the students, and at the same time, I have seen teachers who mix up their personal life with the teaching, who usually uses the students to get their personal interest done, and professionally also they used to manipulate the students. They are bad teacher. I do not know these people. You know what? The people are like very funny. I don't like this kind of thing, and this is kind of very disturbing. I will say this kind of teacher. So, and at the same time, some of the teachers used to just play kind of play with us, not helping at all. These teachers. And at the same time, some of the teachers, and there is another kind of teacher who are a great teacher, but they didn't help us nicely. I also hate them a bit. What kind of teacher they are, let me tell you. So there were some great teachers who, in terms of subject knowledge, in terms of explanation methods, they were really marvelous. And they were way ahead of other teachers. For example, there are some couple of teachers, and there is one teacher whose ability, we know it because we are in the class. The way he explains, the way he delivers the knowledge, he is like gigantic someone. But this gigantic person, when at some point he also starts underestimating the students, and he also starts giving us a routine lecture. For example, what I mean by this, let me explain it. Suppose first couple of days he gave very generous lectures, very interesting, very engaging, and we know that, or I know that, he comes in the class with huge preparation. Then there is very few engagement in the class, or the students are like different types. Especially I'm talking about, let's not say the name. So then all of a sudden I am seeing, like in the when the time goes on, then in the like fourth, fifth week, then all of a sudden he starts coming to the class without the preparation, and we automatically know it, because when he solves something, all of a sudden he got stuck, and then he starts thinking. But initially he was like pro, like come to the class without any books, without any notes, even just blah blah blah, he can do anything, because everything is, he actually used to come to the class with all the materials, but he do not needed any of this while giving the lectures. He was super prepared. But later he is like, he coming to the class without anything, then he forgets, then he cannot solve it, or he is not saying any additional information, not giving any additional information. He is just doing these things, or he is just talking. And we know, I mean, talking is good. From my point of view, a teacher will not always just give the lecture. I don't like it at all. And at the same time, the teacher will not always give us work, a lot of work. Sometimes that's what I said. Some teachers always just give the work. This is another way of cheating. They just give the work and teacher do, and without the input, output cannot be good. Without good input, output cannot be good. So basically, we do is the good teacher must know how to balance it. So basically, this teacher I also hated most. But the last one that I said I hate them very like I softly hate them because I have some soft corner for them also. Maybe they thought the students are not quite good enough for the level of knowledge they are giving. But I will request them, please. Please respect the students, and there are students in the class maybe who are not talking in the class always, maybe who are not responding with you always, but they understand what you are saying. Trust me, there are always brilliant students in the class. Maybe you are thinking like the students are not understanding because some of them are giving blank look, but there are many students who are in the class who are understanding what you are saying, and they are actually not understanding what you are saying. They already are capable of measuring the length of your lecture, depth of your lecture. And everything they are getting. So basically, don't downsize your lecture just because of this kind of thinking, and this is not helpful. Anyway, so these are the bad teachers, and at the same time, yeah, as I said, some teachers make the teaching thing personal, and they make the whole thing quite for their personal benefit. Man, this is really bad. Teaching is different thing. Please don't do it. This is not a good idea to do it. And please don't give extra pressure to the students, unnecessary pressure to the students. Make some preparation. Always be prepared for the students, and care them. You have to love the students. This is not kind of this is kind of loving your best thing in life, kind of something that you really love and love with respect, and care with there is care, and you love your mother also. You love your this is not kind of this is not kind of welfare thing. Just be frank. So you have to love, and there must be care. When you go to the class, there must be care, and we understand it when we are teacher, like whether you love the class or not. What are you doing, we understand it when you come to the class, and this is disgusting to look at you when you come to the class just to waste our time as a student. Like, we are a student and you came to the class just so that you can write your name in the attendance register, and you can take our attendance, and you will just write something from your 10 years old worksheet or 20 years old worksheet. You can just don't do it. Please don't do it. Don't write any old thing. Like, don't give a lecture from your 10 years or 20 years old worksheet, even if it is just only maths. Suppose you will say, I'm just writing it because it is math. Maths never changes, so that's why it is same. No, don't do it. Make this year's lesson plan. Make it. Even if you are just discussing quadratic equation, if you are discussing some polynomial, binomial, whatever it is, series, sequence, whatever it is, just make this year's lesson plan. Every year you have to update your lesson plan. Every year there must be some new math. Just erase some previous old maths, like some of the maths you did and last year. Now you realize that maths, like similar 4-5 maths, all the maths is necessary. Just eliminate some maths, include some new maths. So all these things you have to do it nicely, and this way, or else please, your teacher, as a teacher, you are just ruining everybody's future, all the students' future, and you are wasting their time. And in students' heart, you will be a disgusting teacher, and you do not know. Students will not tell you that. So please try to be good. Try to be at least a kind of validated someone to some extent. In your understanding, etc. All right, thank you very much for watching. Bye.